Welcome back to Selena's Table and our little Aussie homestead. If you're new, I'm Selena and welcome to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Today, I want to show you 4 more things that we make here that we don't buy. If you've been following for a while, you'll know that we make a lot of our own things here. We grow our own vegetables where we can. We grow fruit where we can, and we also try to save as much money on our grocery bill as we can by making as many things as is sort of possible while still running as a family and busy people. So the first thing that I'm going to show you today is these drinks. Now these drinks here, these are just flavored soda waters. They're not soft drink. I've done a video in the past where I showed you how to make like cola syrup and I think maybe some other cordial style syrups. If not, I will do one eventually. But these flavored soda water style drinks are a really, really popular item, especially in our family because they don't have any sugar in them. Now, I'm not gonna lie, we still buy them, but we buy them for when we're on the road. So if we're going up the beach or if we are out for the day and we're not going to have access to our fridge and we want a sparkling drink, we will buy these and bring these along. But we do not buy them every week and we certainly don't buy them often, okay? But all they are is a flavored soda water. So I want to show you when we feel like these at home, we make them. And this might be the very simplest recipe I'll ever show you. And it's certainly nothing new. And I'm sure that, you know, a lot of people have already been doing this, but I want to show you in case it had slipped your mind. So I've got 3 flavors I'm going to make today. I'm going to do my kids' favorite, watermelon, with some pre-sliced watermelon. I'm going to do my favorite, the pineapple, and just the one that's probably the easiest to throw together, and that is lemon. So what you're going to need for this recipe is some fruit. You probably could use a flavoring if you were so inclined to do so. I'm going to use my fresh fruit here. You're going to need, well, I think it's nice if you have ice. You'll also need some soda water. So if you have a soda stream, nothing could be simpler than making your own soda water. It is simply some cold, in my case, filtered rainwater, but you just use whatever water you've got. Make sure it's cold before you go and gas it, and a soda stream machine. If you don't have a soda stream and you don't want a soda stream, you can definitely still make this because you can buy soda water in bottles like soft drink from the store, and they're really affordable too. So either way, this is a really affordable way to have those drinks that are actually quite expensive to buy. So what I've also got here is just a cocktail shaker. And the reason I use this is I'm able to mash up my fruit a little easier to get maximum flavor out of it. You do not need one of these. You can just put your fruit straight into your cup. But because I do have one, I'm going to use it. Now for 1 cup of soda water, any of these these larger sizes, I've only got a small amount of watermelon, okay, in there. Oh, I've got a little bit more here, so I'm going to pop that in. So yeah, a couple of tablespoons, you know, 1/4 cup worth of watermelon. We're just going to mash that with our muddler. Now the muddler is just a wooden stick that comes with my cocktail maker here, but you don't have to have one of these. You could use a spoon, and you could also just do it straight into the glass if that's what you wanted to do. Because this is watermelon, obviously it's really easy to get it smushed up. In there. To that, I usually add a little bit of my soda water. Now I need to gas this, so I'm just going to quickly put some carbon dioxide into this water. Now I usually only add a small amount to begin with. Give it a good mix, because this bit, I don't care if it goes flat. I'm just trying to get that fruit well incorporated, okay? All right, choose a glass. We're going to go with this one. Soda water. Then it's up to you if you want to strain it. Because this one will go to my children, I will. They don't want too many floaty bits in theirs. And then I just top it back up with the soda water. And just like that, you have a really delicious watermelon soda water. It really just doesn't get simpler. It's really pretty. It's actually prettier than when you empty out one of those cans, and a delicious and refreshing watermelon flavored soda water. So I'll quickly just make 2 more flavors just to show you really how simple it is before we move on to the next thing that we no longer buy and we make. So for the lemon, I mean, honestly, this one is the simplest. And I do make this drink all the time using grapefruit as well. So all we want to do is get some juice. We're not going to mash this one up. We are just going to take the juice. Let's put some ice in our cup. Pop some juice in there. Followed by soda water. And a straw. Oh, so zingy, so delicious. Yes, that is lemon in water. I understand that that's what I'm showing you. But you can do this with limes, you can do this with lemons, you can do this with grapefruit. I do it with all kinds of citrus. Mixed with the soda water, it makes that lemon water just actually so much better and really, really refreshing for summer. So if you haven't thought of it, give that a try. So the final flavor and my favorite, pineapple. Now pineapple goes beautifully with mint. So if you have an abundance of mint in your garden, I do highly recommend you add some mint to your pineapple one. You can use canned fruit as well for this. It doesn't have to be fresh. Fresh does taste nicer. And another thing that's really delicious is frozen fruit, where you can mash your frozen fruit instead of fresh, or you can use it as like the ice. So if I had some frozen pineapple or some frozen watermelon, I could put that in my drink and it would just be incredible. So I'm cutting the core out of this. Pineapple is a little milder in my experience, so I use a little bit more fruit than maybe the watermelon and lemon. I've just rinsed this out. There's nothing in there now. And in the exact same way as we did the watermelon flavor, This one will be a little less juicy. So if you want to add mint now and crush it with your pineapple. Okay, it's just sort of smushed up a little. Again, just a little bit of soda water to really get the juices coming out of that pineapple. So I have put a little bit of the fruit in there, as you can see. I haven't allowed that one to be strained quite as much as I did the watermelon. My favorite. So good. Definitely, definitely, definitely. If you haven't thought of adding fruit to soda water up until this point, do this for summer. You will not regret it. It'll save you a fortune on those cans, especially when you're at home, and you can make them look very pretty, and they are super healthy. So that's the first thing we do that we no longer buy. So this next one that we make and no longer buy is actually new to our family. I've seen many videos on it. I've known how to make it for a long time, but I just never did the maths on it before. So it's super simple, maybe even as simple as the soda water, if not more simple. We are just gonna make some brown sugar. So brown sugar per kilo for me to buy, the cheapest bag I can find is a home brand, Woolworths store brand, brown sugar, and it's $3.30 a kilo, okay? I did the maths on this one. If I buy molasses from the same shop and I buy white sugar in a 3 kilo bag, my cost per kilo of brown sugar is $1.94 per kilo. So that is almost half the price. And since it takes seconds to put together, we will no longer be buying brown sugar. I already have white sugar. I already have molasses for other things anyway. So this is where I like to combine what I'm already buying and turning it into multiple things. If you've seen recent videos I've done lately, I show like how I use my bread recipe, for example, in multiple different ways to make multiple different kinds of bread, but those ingredients are always pretty much the same. So it's the same principle. I'm now doing this for my sugar, okay? So approximately 1/4 cup of molasses, roughly. Now you can make your sugar darker or lighter. That's the other thing. A little bit lighter, your sugar per kilo will be a little bit cheaper. If you want it a little bit darker than what we are used to buying in a bag, it will be a little bit dearer per kilo, but it won't be double the price like our current brown sugar situation. It's super simple. You don't need a mixer. However, I'm going to do it in mine because if you have one, this is going to even take any effort out of it, okay? So what I have here are my digital scales, purely so I can measure out 1 kilo of my sugar because I bought it in a 3 kilo bag. If you don't buy the 3 kilo bag and you buy the 1 kilo bag, the price for where I am is a little bit more per kilo on that white sugar component. It's 1 kilo, and you want about 1/4 cup being the rough guide for the molasses, okay? Straight in there. Molasses is just a byproduct of making sugar. So they take this out at the sugar factory, okay? Sell it off as a different product. We're putting it back in. Okay, that's it. Into my mixer. And I'm putting my whisk attachment on. And yes, you can do this by hand using a whisk or a spoon. You do not need the mixer, okay? But we're going to use it today. You want to mix this until it's combined, okay? That is it. That is brown sugar, all done. A kilo of it. Okay, ready to be stored the same way as we do with purchased brown sugar. Now there is some from the packet of brown sugar. So our color is slightly different, but I'd say they are equal in lightness. Okay, I feel like, you know, I can sub out my homemade brown sugar with the commercial brown sugar, cup for cup, it's going to be identical. Okay, so there we go. Brown sugar, super simple. It is a new thing to my family to be making ourselves. And I can't think of why I've never done it before. Probably convenience, but you know, with the cost of groceries the way they're going, especially, you know, in some parts of the world are probably worse than others, no doubt. Here in Australia, we are definitely feeling it. So wherever we can save a few dollars or a few cents is where we are headed in this household. So there we go. I've just saved myself, you know, a whole bag almost in cost there. So I'm going to put that straight into my brown sugar container and show you the next thing. Can I just add, this is lovely and soft, just like the purchased brown sugar is, okay? It doesn't feel more coarse or anything. It feels the same to me. So the next thing I want to show you that we've been making for quite a while now from home, and we don't buy, and another thing that I've noticed has become quite expensive in the grocery shop is muesli, or granola as it's known in some places. And my husband loves muesli. He loves having it with the homemade yogurt that we make, and this particular one is nearly out, so I'm going to make some more. I store it in a glass jar and I keep it in the fridge because this muesli has coconut oil in it, and oil spoils. So there's a little saying if you haven't heard it before. Oil sitting on the shelf will spoil in time, okay? Keeping it in the fridge is going to prolong its life. Coconut oil is happy in the fridge, and so is everything else that I'm putting in this today. It's a really simple recipe. This particular one was fig, pistachio, and pear. I'm not making that one today. However, the quantities of what I've put in would have been the same. So what we need is a baking tray with a piece of paper on that. So your baking paper. I have set the oven to around 160 degrees Celsius. You don't want this to burn. I do find muesli does burn pretty quickly. You also need a large bowl. So really simply, into your bowl, we need some oats. 2 cups of rolled oats. I keep my oats in this big, well, this is actually like a short one, a squat I call it, preserving bucket. It's food safe, and I got that at Bunnings, okay, if you're looking for them. And I want 2 cups of oats. We want 2 cups of our chopped nuts, seeds, and fruits. So today, in this particular muesli, I'm going to be using pecan nuts. walnuts, a trail mix, and this is the great thing is you can use up all those little bags of things that maybe you bought that haven't got enough in it to do other things with. So this is just a superfood trail mix. Looks like I got that one from Aldi, and I'm going to use some of our dehydrated pears that we did earlier in the year when pears were coming in abundance. Okay, so all up you want another 2 cups of whatever that mix in is. I do like to add nuts, seeds and fruit. So what I'm going to do is add 1 cup of this mixed superfood blend, and that has almonds, sultanas, coconut, some pepitas, some sunflower seeds, and it looks like some little dried cranberries as well. So there's just a real good mix of fruit and nuts as it is. Now we could add just 2 cups of that and call it a day, except I want to use some walnuts up. So I've done a whole section of filming and my camera was turned off. So what I have done is I've added my 1 cup of that superfood mix to my bowl of oats. I've added about 3/4 of a cup of walnuts that I've then just sort of chopped roughly. We don't want them to be too small, but we also don't want the big whole walnut size. And now I am just breaking up bits of pear, that's dried pear. I've removed the seeds and the stalks on the ones that I had left them on. So now I'm just ripping up about 1/4 of a cup of the pear, and you can make this as rustic or as fine as you like. You can use whatever nuts, seeds, fruit, dried fruit as you like as well, whatever you think will be nice. And when it came to the pear, fig and pistachio, the one that I already have here, that would have been about 1 cup of pistachios and then equally 1/2 cup of fig and 1/2 cup of dried pear. Okay. There we go. So there's that. Then what you want to do is just set that aside in this bowl here. We're going to add about 1 tablespoon, roughly, of vanilla. I like to be generous. I love vanilla. We want coconut oil. You want about 1/4 of a cup of coconut oil. Now my coconut oil is melted because it's warm here. If it's not melted, you'll need to heat this up, okay? Just pop it in the microwave to heat it up. Mix those together. And then you want about 1/3 of a cup of honey. And yes, you can use maple syrup. Yes, you can use maple syrup, you can use any of the honey substitutes. Okay, this is just the one that we like to use, okay? Honey, coconut oil, and vanilla. We want to give that a good mix. If you need to warm it up, just pop it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. We do want to combine it well before we go adding it to our muesli. So now all we're going to do is mix the wet into the dry. I like to give this a little quick toss first. Pour your wet ingredients in. Give it a good mix. You want everything to be coated in the oil and honey mixture. We don't want to leave any dry bits behind. This smells incredible already, and it's not even cooking. Okay, I should have said it's toasted muesli. In Australia we have muesli and then we have toasted muesli. Okay, so this is the toasted variety of muesli, and this one's going into the oven. If you were not a fan of toasted muesli, you could leave that whole wet section out, just do the oats, the fruits and the nuts, keep it in a jar in your fridge, and you've got your dried style of muesli. Okay, for toasted muesli you want to add those wet ingredients, and we are going to bake it in the oven on our tray. Let's get this out of the way. So this is going to take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. You want to keep an eye on it. It can burn on the edges especially, and we don't want that to happen. That's why we are going to stay here, keep an eye on it. It will be dependent on your oven, and if you are concerned, if you have a hotter oven than maybe you think most people have, you could turn the temperature down by another 10 degrees, okay? You just want to spread this out, nice large tray. If you don't have a large tray, use 2 smaller trays. The thinner you can get this, the better and easier it will be to keep an eye on browning, but also to have a more even cook in the muesli, okay? So straight into the oven. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I am going to keep an eye on this, but I'm going to pop it in for about 10 minutes for my first alarm. Once it's been in there for about 10 minutes, I'm going to give it a quick little stir, re-flatten it to look like that again, and do another 10 minutes or less if it needs less, but we will follow along. So into the oven. So this is about 7 minutes. All right, you can see we are starting to get browning on the edges. So all I'm going to do is just give that a quick remix, because I want this to cook really evenly. And then straight back into the oven. Perfectly golden, not burnt. You want it to be golden because, as you can see, as we stir it, it's still lighter underneath. So that is perfect. All right, now this still looks soft. And you might be thinking, hang on, toasted muesli is all like, toasted muesli is like crunchy and delicious. Well, this is going to get crunchy as it cools. So do not be concerned if you make this and when you stir it, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's still too soft, I'm going to put it back in the oven. Don't do that, you'll end up burning it. If you let that cool down now in the tray, I'm going to keep turning it like that just because I want to get the dark bits mixed into the light bits. Once this cools down, it will have a beautiful toasted crunch. So there you go, delicious toasted muesli or granola. Done. The last thing I want to show you today that we no longer buy from the grocery store and we make, and I've been doing it for a little while, is drinking chocolate. Okay, it's not cocoa, so cocoa is a different product. Cocoa is just one ingredient, drinking mix, hot chocolate mix, drinking powder, chocolate powder mix. This is a combination of cocoa and sugar and some other things. So what I've done is I keep the tin, I've written my recipe underneath so that whenever we run out, all I have to do is refill my tin. So drinking chocolate is actually mostly icing sugar. Now that may concern some people who thought it was cocoa. It's not. It's significantly heavy in the icing sugar, okay? But we only use like a teaspoon of this, and it's got no added sugar beyond our drinking chocolate mix, okay? And we don't add anything else either. We just use this with some milk. Okay, so I also dust my coffees with this. So if you've seen my video recently, I made a cup of coffee, a cappuccino. I enjoy a cappuccino, and I just sprinkle a little bit of this. I put some into a little shaker bottle. Here, I'll just top this up, and then I just sprinkle when I want a cappuccino. So this particular mix, all you're going to need is a bowl. This will make a full 400 gram tin. So this guy will be full. So in there, into our bowl, with some scales, you want to weigh out 300 grams of icing sugar. To that, we want some cocoa, okay? The better quality ingredients you use, the better quality your finished product will be also, okay? 70 grams of cocoa, which is about 3/4 of a cup, roughly. This is not full for those of you who get concerned watching me cook and you see me multiple dip sometimes. That measuring cup was not full. I was just using it as a scoop. So that's 70 grams of cocoa and 300 grams of icing sugar in our bowl. To that, you want to add a pinch of salt. That's sea salt. And the little hidden secret here is 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Not that it's a hidden secret, and you want 2 tablespoons roughly of corn flour, just like that. I don't over scoop that, so not too heaped, and simply give that a good stir. If you've got lumps in your cocoa, for example, you can also stir this using a whisk. This is just a little mini whisk here. I give it a good stir. Once I've put it in my tin, I'll also give the tin a bit of a shake, just to mix it a little bit more. But you don't need any sort of special equipment. It's okay if there's some little lumps in it. Drinking chocolate usually has some in it anyway. Now there's no other additives in this. That's why we like it. This one hasn't saved us a fortune. It costs pretty similar to a tin of this cheap drinking chocolate anyway, but there's no additives or anything like that. And where it does save us is we don't have to go to the shop to buy more when we run out, which is always just a temptation to buy more other things as well. I simply just pop this straight back into the tin. You can use a funnel, whatever floats your boat on that. I'm just going to scoop it. It really won't take very long. Just like that, another tin of drinking chocolate ready to go. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. There's a picture of the chocolate powder for you. All mixed together. Try this granola. Delicious. That's beautiful on a bit of yogurt, even with a bit of extra honey. Really nice. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that if you haven't thought of some of these quick little do-it-yourselves at home, that maybe you could save yourself a couple of dollars too by making it at home yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Don't forget to like it, subscribe it, find me on Instagram, and I will catch you next time. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you later. Bye.